Welcome into LTSN, another edition of Blue Devil Men's Hockey. Jason Ross Jr. live from the Farmington Hills Ice Arena, the new home of Blue Devil Hockey. And the Blue Devils venture into the attacking zone right off the bat with the top line out there, taking on Rochester College for a second consecutive night. Rochester won it 5-1 last night in a hard-fought, gritty, physical affair at Fraser Ice Arena. Coached by Scott Cagnett in his second season. Ken Gaffney behind the bench for the Blue Devils once again tonight. One of the longest tenured coaches in LTU athletics. Puck goes back to the blue line. Alec Allen back there. And Brendan Price. Out. And now room to roam up the left wing side for Lance Ferrick. The active freshman defenseman from West Bloomfield will slide it around the dasher to the near corner. Taken there by the Blue Devils' Jake Stawinski. Now looking for a clean exit out of their zone, and lofted to center ice, kicked off the skate of the linesman. Rather fortuitously for this now forechecking Rochester team. Alec Allen, the experienced defenseman. You won't hear a bad word about Alec Allen. Really cool personality. We get a penalty upcoming here, and it will be a power play for Lawrence Tech. LTU went 0 for 3 with a man advantage last night. Rochester went 3 for 8. Discipline was one of the key topics we were looking at coming into this one. Trevor Poe, the guilty party there. This face-off coming up to the right. Philip Subert. Rochester able to clear their end. It was a cross-checking call in that near corner of the far side of the ice. Puck goes back out to the point. Schluter, the dual sport athlete. Played junior hockey in British Columbia. Winds and fires. Held by Subert. Schluter, one of the busiest guys that you'll find on Lawrence Tech's campus. He plays lacrosse and obviously hockey as well. The Oxford, Michigan native. He had 2 assists last weekend to open up the season in those wins over Concordia. He just barely holds the line there and feeds it over to his D partner, Nurkinen. Here's Matthew Nurkinen. Feels like he's been around for a while. Schluter fires again, and a butterfly save made by Subert. Puck is cleared out to center ice. Minute 08 to go on the first power play of the evening for Lawrence Tech. A little over 4 minutes into this matchup. A home and home between Rochester and Lawrence Tech, capping off tonight here at Farmington Hills Ice Arena. Again, it was a 5-1 win for Rochester last night. If you're just joining us, Blue Devils will have to tag up here to avoid the offside. Now they get a clean entry. Down the near wing goes Timo A. The freshman will circle the net. Metamora, Michigan native, feeds a high slot, long wrist shot, and a stick save made there by Subert. Puck pops up into the protective netting, and we'll get a face-off coming up here with half a minute to go on the man advantage for Lawrence Tech. Face-offs did favor Lawrence Tech last night, 30-27 in that matchup, fairly even in the dot. Puck goes beside the right circle. Now fed to the top of the right. Over to the near side for Hodges. Up to the left point. Winds and fires, and a one-timer there off the stick blade of A. And once again, this pops up into the netting. 15 seconds to go now on the Blue Devils' man advantage. John Horn will take the draw here, going up against Sean Adam. Senior going up against freshman. There's a shot that couldn't quite get through traffic. Coming off the stick of Timo A. He's been active early. 5 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Here's Alec Allen patrolling the blue line. Winding and firing his Horn. He'll slide it over here to Allen. blocked fearlessly by Adam. He was a little shaken up. There's a puck that just nearly, I think it might have grazed the post. Blue Devils with some ozone time here. Another shot towards net, and Adam sprays out once again, laying his body out on the line. Blue Devils did well to get pucks towards the net there. Finally cleared, and this tired line for Rochester can get a bit of a break as they just have to ice the puck. Adam still shaking off that hand, takes his glove off. They will have to stay out there. So potential opportunity here for the Blue Devils with a tired unit out for Rochester. They immediately slide it across the crease. Jumping on it is Blake Heyer, unable to get there, and Adam a rink-wide feed for a sprinting DeFranco. Gliding down the right wing side and in over the Blue Devil line. Badgered there by Adam Rebecca, the freshman defenseman from Canton. Puck goes back out over the center ice logo. No score, about 6 minutes in here. Blue Devils looking to answer back. Nice little move here, and a shot taken by Connor Victory after he sashayed past Bryce Patterson. The last couple of minutes, momentum has really been favoring Lawrence Tech. Slow start for Rochester, having to kill off a penalty for cross-checking to Trevor Pode, who was their star last night on that hat trick. He scored 3 of the 5 goals for this Rochester team and are out to that 5-1 win. Clean entry here for Lawrence Tech. Higher shot, sticked aside by Subert. Unable to hold the line there was Jack Labar, a freshman from Centennial, Colorado. Only Colorado native on this Blue Devil roster, about 20 minutes away from Denver. Nice little area in Colorado. Puck floated towards the net there off the stick blade of Jake Stawinski. Snatched out of the air rather deftly by Stubert. This is kind of what we saw last night. Jawing back and forth, physical play. A couple of players got kicked out of the game, and the refs immediately trying to settle things down. 13-19 to go in the opening period. No score yet. The line that started the game for Rochester, Martinez and Price and McKevlich, they were all pretty good last night. Sean Adams still out there as well as we have more conversations taking place. That was a pretty intense one. The referee's trying to get a hold of this one in the early goings. Pillay able to win the offensive zone draw. Kicking it from his left skate to his stick blade was Eddie Flood, who actually has a twin sister at LTU who plays on the JV volleyball team, Claire. They're an LTU family and a couple of really good kids. Puck goes back out to center ice. Collision there between Pode and A. They're trying to take Pode out of the mix early. They know how talented he is and how much of a goal-scoring threat he has the potential to be. Nearing the halfway points of the opening period. Blue Devils have had room to roam through center ice in the early goings. Once again, a clean entry. This time, Pillay fires, no butterfly save made there. Pillay with 2 goals in the team. He had the only goal for Lawrence Tech last night. 5 points on the season. That's second on the team. They get the puck in deep here and cause some trouble. Connor Victory. Wheeling to the slot here is Brendan Priest. Collision there, but the Blue Devils hold the line. Alec Allen flung one towards the net. On the doorstep, they couldn't quite get it through to Subert. But once again, the Blue Devils with some nice little ozone time going. In on the forecheck, Victory, along with Priest. Having trouble clearing their ends is Rochester. Here's a puck flung towards the net and a pad save made by Subert. Held in once more, fed to the slot. And tipping in front there. This top line out for the Blue Devils that started the game. Right on net, it's flicked up high. And another golden opportunity there. That time Priest on the doorstep. And Rochester finally able to clear, but only as far as the center ice red line. Once again, they only clear as far this time to Jomey. The Minneapolis, Minnesota native will dump it in. Business major from the hockey-crazed state of Minnesota. High school hockey is really big in Minnesota. Jomey from that Minneapolis area scored his first goal of the season last weekend. Meanwhile, this puck was flipped up, and I believe it went out of play. 11:09 to go in the opening period. No score yet. For the most part, it's been the Blue Devils with the advantage through just about half a period. They forced Rochester into some long shifts. They've had one power play, and they really did well on it. Obviously didn't score, but did do a nice job with the man advantage. They went 0 for 3 last night. So goal, if they can get another situation like that, would be nice. Breath of fresh air on the start so far, considering that they went down 3-0 early in that game last night to the Blue Devils. Puck is sent off a deflection, back into the Lawrence Tech zone. And Rochester will get a line change. Puck is flicked in front of the penalty boxes. Timo A has been good in the early goings. Trying to keep the puck on his stick. Had it poked off by Trevor Pode. Leading goal scorer for this Rochester team. Blue Devils able to hold the line again. Here's Alex Schluter. He'll poke it behind the net of Stubert. And jumping on it easily here will be John Horn. Put it behind the net to Schluter. Back up to the point it goes. The shot was deflected. Adams tried to clear, couldn't. To the slot with room, Timo A. That puck deflected over the near corner. Sent back around by Adams. And lifted into the air. The cold air of Farmington Hills Ice Arena, the new home for the Blue Devils this season. Nifty move there by Timo A. You see why they like him so much. A drop pass and a shot by Horn. Some of the youngsters getting involved in this first period. That puck goes up and out of play. 9:39 to go in the opening period of play. Here in Farmington Hills, pleasure to have you with us. Jason Ross Jr., producer Kia Tyus, Sarah Davis down ringside, getting highlights tonight. You can catch all of those on the various LTU Athletics social media channels and on the LTU Sports Report every Monday on Fox Sports Detroit at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All of your different sports coverage, features, highlights, and interviews wherever you go. Connor Victory starting back the other way. With room, the shot, and a save made by Subert. LTU able to hold the line here once again. Getting knocked off the puck there was Max Jomey. We have a penalty coming up to Lawrence Tech. Jomey was taken down, and he might have retaliated in a way that caused some trouble. It will be the first power play of the night for this Rochester team. Didn't see it, but Jomey did get taken down to the ice, and maybe he felt there should have been a call. Got up a bit frustrated, retaliated. It was very physical matchup last night that led to multiple penalties. Blue Devils were penalized 8 times last night, and this Rochester team capitalized on 3 of those occasions. They had a couple of shorthanded goals. Here's a chance in front as the puck deflected out. It's a roughing penalty, so there you go. Retaliation is typically what is associated with roughing, as that puck is sent towards the net, up into the protective netting, and out of play. 8:53 to go in the first period of action. No score yet between Rochester and Lawrence Tech. In this ACHA Division I matchup, second of a home-and-home between these two sides. Jason Ross Jr. with you from Farmington Hills Ice Arena. Face off to the right of the freshman goaltender Christian Cazeloes, the freshman from Irvine, California, Los Angeles area, making his first start at the new rink. Puck is banked off the end boards there. Taking a big hit on the near wall. That time was Matt Morrison. They're able to get out to center ice, but they face some pressure. Blue Devils will carry in shorthanded. Schluter stops, waits, shoots, and a save made there by Subert with the chest. But Schluter did well shorthanded. Minute 07 to go on the man advantage for this Rochester team. Has not been the start that they had last night when they jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Those was behind 2 shorthanded goals from Trevor Pote. Blue Devils have noticeably keyed in on Pote in the early goings, making it tough for him, and the forecheck has been excellent. Here it is once more, shorthanded. Shot from the slot, deflected. Here's another chance. Subert has to stick it aside. Blue Devils early hounding the puck and winning pucks in the corner, doing it well. Fell to the slot there. Goes across the crease, looking that time for Brendan Priest. 6-foot sophomore from Livonia and Livonia Stevenson High School. Here he is once more, firing. That rung off the post. Big chance there for Priest, who comes from the excellent high school program of Livonia Stevenson. Now Rochester can step out to center ice. Out to cut the puck off there was Kazaleas, the freshman. 15 seconds to go on this man advantage for Rochester, and they missed the man at the point, and it goes back out to center ice. Streaking back there is Parker Hodges. Couldn't quite get to it. Now Luke Price, who is back in the lineup tonight for Rochester, didn't play last night, will just take the puck in his own end in no particular hurry. And the Blue Devils are back to full strength as Jomi steps out of the box. He was penalized for roughing. It was kind of a retaliation move that he will regret, but the Blue Devils did well to kill off that penalty. Had a shorthanded opportunity from Schluter that almost found its way into the back of the net. 6:45 to go now in this opening period. Taking it here in the slot is Eric Engel. Able to clear their zone of Rochester. Jumping into the attacking zone, here is Pode. Hat trick last night for Rochester. Circles the net. Awaiting reinforcements. Had to feed it back out to center ice, and Rochester will have to tag up to avoid offside. They get a line change meanwhile. Blue Devils have easily roamed to the neutral zone for the most part in this opening period. It's tipped off a deflection from Adam Rebecca, the Canton, Michigan native. Coaching staff has really grown to love what they've seen from him so far in the early goings of this season. Season that is still in its embryonic stages. Both teams at 2-1. Here's that forecheck again. They stripped the puck, a backhand shot. But we get a whistle blown prior to the shot, and this will be a tripping call coming up. Will be on Lawrence Tech. Prior to that opportunity from Team A, and A will head to the box. 2-minute minor for tripping with 5:57 to go in the opening period. No score, second power play of the night for Rochester. Both teams have combined 0 for 2 so far. Sean Adam looking to win the offensive zone draw, couldn't. Schluter looking to clear. Holding the line, though, is DeFranco. I believe that hopped up into the LTU bench. So that'll bring the faceoff back outside the LTU line. So the power play looks to get going. It was excellent last night for Rochester. Here's Martinez. Banks it off the boards into the LTU zone. It's promptly cleared by Schluter. Subert out to cut it off. Goaltender from Slovakia. We'll leave it back here for Martinez. He hits DeFranco. The exits haven't been clean tonight for this Rochester team. Clean entry here, though. Fed to the slot. Schluter did well. The experienced player actually was captain of the lacrosse team. We mentioned he's a two-sport athlete. It can get really busy for him. There are times when it's as much as 2 weeks, sometimes maybe just a few days of that overlapping between lacrosse and hockey for him towards the end of the hockey season. But he said he loves it. He loves being busy, and he had a wonderful quote. He said, "You have to work hard no matter what." He really carries that mentality, and in not only hockey but school as well, where he is an excellent student at the very challenging Lawrence Tech University as we get an offside call here. 4:50 to go now in this opening period of play. No score yet. 53 seconds to go on the second power play for Rochester. Mentioned they went 3 for 8 last night. Puck is hammered up the near side and back into the Rochester end. Now they can assemble for their breakout. Looking for Slezans, the Latvian defenseman. He lost the puck, bouncing around at center ice. The Devils have really been hounding the puck in this first period, and they do so once more here. Fed across the rink for Jomi. Able to step past DeFranco. Couple of nifty moves, walking it along the goal line. Jomi carves his way around the net of Subert. Walking the puck up the near wall and back out to the high slot. Gets pressured out and tracked back out to center ice, but did well to kill off some valuable power play time there. Just 4 seconds to go now before they can hop out, and Blue Devils are back to even strength. Fans are campaigning for a call. They won't get one. Here's a potential 3-on-1 developing for Lawrence Tech. Carrying it into the zone. There's a shot and a big save made by Subert. And now he smothers the puck off the shot from Jake Stawinski. Macomb, Michigan native was streaking down that right wing side. Former Metro Jet. They actually played in Fraser, Michigan last night where the Metro Jets play. I have a friend who plays for the Metro Jets. They do a very nice job with that program. A lot of these guys play junior before making their way to Lawrence Tech. As time is dwindling on this opening period of play that has been a hotly contested period, the script is flipped from last night's matchup. Rochester jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Here's a long pass, intentions that time for Slezans. Couldn't connect. And now the Blue Devils look to break out of their own end. Up the left wing side with numbers. Here's Hodges. Fires wide. Held in at the line. Slips past Hodges, but onto the stick of Eric Engel. Bloomington, Minnesota native. Puts it in the blue paint, and smothering it once more will be Subert. Philip Subert, sophomore goaltender, 6'3", 195. Lindenwood Belleville transfer. Blue Devils have played Lindenwood Belleville in the past. We're taking the draw here for Lawrence second. Winning the offensive zone draw. Almost snuck it through the 5-hole. That was Timo A, who has done very well in this opening period. Slid over to the near side. Looking to clear is Carter. Couldn't initially, and Martinez will circle the net, facing more forechecking pressure. Puts it up the near side and out. Oh, did it go out? It did not. Blue Devils hold the line once more, and they did well nicely. Puck in front of the LTU bench now. Trying to bank it off the boards and right back to himself here is Schluter. Navigates his way in over the Rochester line. Gets knocked off the puck as he was carrying it towards Subert. Held in, though, here. Nice job from Jack Labar, the Colorado native. Puck hammered towards the net. Got through traffic, and Subert had to make a save. Slipping as he was heading the other way is Prode. I think he was looking for reinforcements. Dodges an oncoming check there from Sean Pillay, the Seattle native. Gonna have NHL hockey in Seattle in a couple of years. Can't wait for that. NHL expansion coming in 2021. Here is the aforementioned play. Seattle native feeds it across here. There's a shot, and Subert did well to read that. Went right to left in his crease and made a nice butterfly save. Puck is lifted back to center ice. Taking it back in his own end here, looking to settle things down, but having some pressure there was Alec Allen. 90 seconds to go in the opening period. No score in this hotly contested opening frame. Few power play opportunities. Rochester has had 2. Lawrence Tech has had 1. It was the Blue Devils getting off to a nice start. Did well in that power play to get that Rochester line tired. Had some opportunities. Couldn't quite capitalize. Had a shorthanded opportunity as well. Rochester really with just 1 power play in those 2 where they had consistent pressure. Puck in the near corner, walking along the goal line. There was Ebert, fed the slot. Now potential breakaway opportunity brewing. Martinez fed it across. Couldn't quite get a shot off. after a golden opportunity brewed there for Rochester. Now the counterattack through center ice for Lawrence Tech. Sealed off nicely, and Rochester will look to get a line change. Back the other way with room to roam is higher. He was stripped of the puck from DeFranco. Back at the Blue Devil line now. Lawrence Tech looking to settle things down. Just 20 seconds to go in the period. This is wonderful, isn't it? It's a lovely game of hockey being played on a Friday night here at Farmington Hills Ice Arena. Carrying it over the LTU line is Billy Mahevlich. He's gotten off to a nice start in his sophomore campaign. Had a 3-point game last Friday. Time will elapse on period number 1. No score after 20 minutes of play here at Farmington Hills Ice Arena. A few power play opportunities to no avail. It was a fun, rhythmic period. Blue Devils got off to a really nice start. We'll see what Ken Gaffney tells his guys during the break. You're watching Blue Devil men's hockey on LTSN. No score after 20 minutes of action. At Henry Ford Health System, we treat the whole athlete, from surgery to cardiology, nutrition to performance conditioning, sports psychology to brain health, using the most innovative technologies like motion analysis and advanced treatments. We champion the whole athlete, from injury prevention and treatment to performance conditioning, with appointments with 24 business hours. Let us create a unique game plan for you, just like we do for the pros. Visit us at henryford.com/sports.
You sit on the sidelines, but your heart is running across that field. His drive becomes yours, his dreams too. So when a torn ACL and concussion threaten those dreams, choose the sports medicine team that treats the whole athlete. Henry Ford Health System. We combine the most innovative technology with a personalized treatment plan so he can get back his confidence. And you can get back to being his biggest fan. Henry Ford Health System. All for you.
So you want to work out, and you're curious about supplements, but don't know where to start. All you have to do is, you're already done. With the Benefit Box, you get full-size supplements customized to you and tailored to your fitness goals. With easy-to-use instructions delivered right to your front door. Visit www.thebenefitbox.com to get started on building your box and you today.
What we've been working on with the girls is trying to grow the team to be more involved with athletics and being a competitive team. We did our first competitions last year, and it went really great. It was an amazing learning experience. It taught us a lot about what we needed to work on as a team. One of the things that we really got to do is we challenged ourselves to be dancing at a higher level. We've been working with the girls on choreography and really pushing our limits as a team.
Well, we went to camp this year, which we didn't do last year, and I think that was a really good bonding experience because it was a kind of a tough camp, and so we all kind of struggled together and kind of brought us together.
For practice, we normally get up, and our practices are from 6 to 8 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then tomorrow we have pep rally, so we have a little bit of a practice before that. Saturdays is when the game is, and so we'll practice early in the morning on the field. We go to the tailgate, and then we perform.
It's very exciting because it's the first time our freshmen are going to perform for the school, and so they're going to dance for the crowd and have fun.
For us, we're planning on being almost there for every game. We're planning to keep it peppy, making sure the crowd is with us, and just excited overall.
What we're really trying to get people to see us as is the energy at the games. We want to be part of that group along with the band that's really building people up and getting them excited to be just in that whole atmosphere.
My name is Erin Atala. My major is biomedical engineering. I'm a freshman and I'm in the LTU marching band. I'd really like to go to Italy one day because I've been to Europe before and it's beautiful. M&Ms because I really like chocolate. Pineapple does not belong on pizza because I don't like pineapple and I don't think the flavors fit well together at all. My favorite thing about Lawrence Tech is the class size. I really like that they're small and personal and get to know your classmates and your teacher and ask them questions.
We are holding our prospect camp, and we open it up from 7th grade all the way up to seniors. going into their senior year, and we're holding it here at Troy Athens High School, and we got a gorgeous day for it. What it is people who have the dream of playing college softball, and for us, we have some people who are extremely interested in LTU that have come to the camp, or that they're looking to go on to college and play college softball. We go over, it's more of advanced drills than just basic drills that we try to do here today.
I really like the prospect camp because there's always a lot of energy with these younger girls, so we get to help them out and grow their skills more, and we get to have fun while we're doing it and teach them like a lot of cool things that Coach Baird showed us.
My favorite thing is they always have a lot of energy. They always have, they're always high-fiving each other, and, they talk a lot, and that's probably my favorite part.
We try and bring what we teach the younger kids to our fields. Like if there's something that our teammates aren't understanding, like we try and teach them like we would to teach the younger kids.
So we've got 2 freshmen here today, Aaron and Rylan. And I just met Aaron today, and we're already clicking, and it really helps us to kind of learn each other's teaching styles. So it really helps us know how I learn, how Sarah learns. Like I learn different than Sarah, and it helps us to help each other.
I want the players here more than probably me. When they see the players doing the drills and being a part of it, it's for our players not only to give back to the game of softball, but also for our players to understand like the coaching aspect and how you do the drills and break down the drills. And our players do an awesome job with it.
So, Grace, I'd like to start out by saying welcome to the Lawrence Tech family. What emotions are you feeling right now as this starts to settle in and really become a reality?
I'm excited. I'm honored and humbled that Scott and the committee believed in me and my vision, and I'm excited and ready to get started.
Grace, when this job opening first came available, I guess what was the initial thought of why it might be a good fit for you?
I've been a part of the WAC as a player and a coach for 7 years. I'm really familiar with it and the competition and Lawrence Tech's players, the roster that they have returning. So it was an attractive job to me, and I wanted to be back home in my roots.
How would you describe your coaching and recruiting philosophies?
I really think Coach Kai did a great job of establishing, going after driven character young women that are driven on the basketball court and in the classroom. And that's really what I want to continue to look for when we're fitting the LTU mold.
What stood out to you most about Grace during this process?
I think just her attitude and her enthusiasm. She seems like a real go-getter. She's going to have her work cut out. Recruiting in our conference is pretty tough, but I think she comes with a great background of recruiting a high student athlete, great GPA, so that's what kind of set her apart from the other candidates.
Inference how tough it's gotten for Lawrence Tech women's basketball, now back-to-back 21 seasons. We had a first-team All-American last year in Nicole Buckingham, the WAC Newcomer of the Year in Kendall Fisher. What are your expectations of this group moving forward?
I expect her to pick up the ball and take off right where they left off. We have a lot of great talent coming back. We did lose a couple of key players, but I expect other people to step up, just like any team, right? Everyone's got to step up and do their role. Coach is going to come right in and get her hands dirty. It's going to be year one, so it's always going to be a different transition, with a new team and a new coach. So we'll see how it goes.
Dahlia. I'm playing for LTU women's soccer, and I'm majoring biomedical engineering. My favorite movie is The Titanic because every time I'd go over to my grandma's house, we'd watch it together and eat ice cream every time we went. No matter if it was like 3 times a week, we'd watch The Titanic. My favorite hype-up song is Upgrade You by Beyonce because it's really upbeat and I love Beyonce. My favorite thing to do in my spare time is either watch Netflix, hang out with friends, or read if I'm interested in a book, which usually I'm not, but sometimes I am. There's small occasions where it happens.
I grew up in Detroit and then moved to Farmington Hills. So I went to Central for a few years and then went to Wayne State and have a civil engineering degree, environmental engineering degree, and a couple masters as well, civil and environmental, with interest in chemistry as well. 30 years of coaching a women's team. Again, another interesting thing. It takes a different approach and a lot of psychology. My wife, Michaeline, is a psychologist, so that helps out a ton. I bring a lot of that in as well. So we started out this summer coming off our best spring that we've had, so we made some improvements. We did really well spring ball, competed really well with some Division II teams, which is a step up for us. And then we had a specific finite role of people that we needed to fill for 2019, and I think we got a good incoming crew to do that. We've hosted more recruit days on campus than we ever have for 19 and 20. We've had over 12 2020s on campus already, so that's one of those things, and they're juniors now, so that's really good. We have a core group of great leadership kids and great seniors this year. I mean, it just absolutely is easy to coach them. So a lot of those successes and that stuff, we set the process, we steer a little bit as a coaching staff, and their foot's on the gas. Always challenging for the girls, and it's not anything the same old, it's always new and always, again, making them comfortable being uncomfortable. That's kind of the cool part. One that I put up on the board already is play in December. That means you made it to nationals, and I think that's a realistic goal. You either got to win the conference outright or you got to win the tournament at the end. So you got 2 shots at that. And I think that's one of those things that if I can get the leadership, the juniors, seniors hungry about, I think it's a doable, achievable goal.
Time now to take a look inside Lawrence Technological University. Fresh off of a busy summer, one of LTU's finest came into the studio to discuss what he was up to over the break.
Over the past couple of years, I've been able to work with a website called DetroitSportsMedia.com, and I work with them as an on-camera reporter. So this summer, I did some work with the Tigers, and I had the opportunity to do an interview with Daniel Norris, one of their pitchers, and he's just such an incredible, wide-ranging personality. So it was some good exposure and an excellent experience when it comes to interviewing.
While thriving with the Detroit Sports Media Group, Jason has also had his hands full going above and beyond as the voice of LTU athletics.
So Lawrence Tech has been certainly a vital part of my career so far. At a young age, they've allowed me to get repetitions doing up to 8 different sports. We do mostly TV broadcasts here, and they allow me to work with my play-by-play, which again is what I want to do more than anything in my life. I just love the rush of it, love the thrill of it. It's almost indescribable. I love to study it. It's like an art form. Again, we do TV play-by-play here, so I kind of consider that to be like the score to a movie. You think of a movie and it's really, you see the pictures, but it's the sound that makes it come alive. Lawrence Tech gives me an incredible platform to be able to work on my passion.
Here's a taste of what you might be listening to in the near future on call for Detroit professional sports.
My heart is beating. The heart of Don Riddler Fieldhouse is beating. Another chance to close this one out. Christy Doherty, Isabella McDonald off the 10-foot line. Back set here to Labar. Doherty, the junior setter, to the junior Gramakova. Sprawling to no avail, and the Blue Devils have done it. They have captured the elusive feat of beating the Madonna Crusaders. They've done it in 4 sets. What a night on senior night.
For more information, go to LTUathletics.com and tune into all of their live-streamed home games to hear Jason Ross Jr. on the call. Student athletes from LTU have been known to go above and beyond off the field, and this week we caught up with one of the men's soccer team captains to talk about a pretty cool opportunity he had this summer.
So back in December, our graduate assistant coach, Paulo Ripotas, he informed me of this opportunity with the American Red Cross that he participated in back in the summer 2016. And this past June, 12 other students and myself, all from the NAIA, all student athletes, we went to the American Red Cross headquarters in downtown Washington, D.C., and we were able to go through seminars, different meetings, go through training where we learned so much about leadership, volunteering opportunities, community impact, and most of all, the Red Cross and the impact that they have in the community and what type of services they provide. The first few days when these people started talking to us, they started showing us the impact of the Red Cross and what it does for the community. I realized this is so much more than just visiting a cool city and visiting cool people. Like, this is an opportunity to change my life and to change other people's lives.
With all of the knowledge gained from his experience and learning the benefits of donating blood.
Welcome back to LTSN. The second period of action getting underway in the middle frame. We'll be Started off with Lawrence Tech trying to exit their own end. Got off to a really nice start to the opening period of play. No score yet here between Rochester and Lawrence Tech. Flying up that left wing goes Parker Hodges, dipping it over the Rochester line, firing off the post. Parker Hodges with an electric start to this second period. Gets a follow-up shot. He scores! Parker Hodges shot out of a cannon to open up the second period. Fans are still trickling in back to the rink. 19:34 to go in the second period of action. All it took was 26 seconds, and the Blue Devils are up 1-0. Well, Parker Hodges had 13 points in 22 games. A season ago, he wins the ensuing draw at center ice, but it'll be dropped back here to DeFranco for Rochester. And that's the first goal of the season for the Westland Michigan native who went to Churchill High School, a really good high school program. Hodges hops off the ice. What a start for that top line. Cole Terrian, the freshman from Plymouth, Massachusetts, also out there, and they get a well-deserved breather after a flying start, 33 seconds in. A little bit of an issue here with the scoreboard on the far side of the rink. Now we're all set. We have switched ends. It's Subert in net tonight for this Rochester group between the pipes. And on the other side, the freshman Spencer Kroll now between the pipes for Lawrence Tech. There's a quick shot off the draw. Whips wide right. Indian Lake, South Carolina native Spencer Kroll. Here's Alec Allen. The defenseman will play it over the top of the left circle. We get another power play for Lawrence Tech here. There's a shot from the high slot, and a butterfly save made there. A cross-checking call was made a bit late, and Alec Allen now and the Blue Devils setting up on their second power play of the night. Allen with his stick up in the air. They tried to feed it over to him, but it was tipped out back to center ice, and all the way down he goes. 80 seconds remaining on the power play for Lawrence Tech. There's Alec Allen, sophomore defenseman from Livonia. Played for the Richmond Generals, decided to stay close to home to play his college hockey. Livonia is just about 15 minutes away from here. Sling it around at Asher, and up the far side it goes. Held in at the left point there by Bryce Ebert, Sherwood, Oregon native, one of two Pacific Northwest natives. He'll dump it in deep, and it's cleared up into the protective netting by Rochester. It was a slow start for Lawrence Tech last night, but they have really flipped the script around today. 52 seconds to go now on this power play. Up 1-0 off Parker Hodges' goal. 26 seconds into this middle frame. There's Matthew Nurkinen, now a senior on the back end for Lawrence Tech out of Saline High School. He's really been an integral part of this LTU blue line. Here's Schluter showing off the elusiveness. He'll dump it in and then pursue the puck. Nurkinen hops on it. Connor Victory over there as well. Half a minute to go on the man advantage. Faking a shot there was Tyrion in number 21 tonight. There is a wrist shot in the top of the right circle, held by Subert. Bryce Ebert firing there. Well, Ebert looking to back up a promising freshman year. Now 4 games into his sophomore campaign. 18 seconds to go. Blue Devils win the offensive zone draw. Schluter over to Nurkinen, who fires, and that whips wide right. Able to hold the line, but now it's up to the right point, just barely held in. Now Rochester able to clear, but only as far as Bryce Ebert. Rochester back to full strength here. Nurkinen steps to the high slot. Feeds it over, back to Jomey. On across it goes. Puck goes across the rink and up the near side. Now trying to break out Rochester. Slipping it over the Blue Devil line. Here is Carter. Shot taken on the side of the net. I believe it clipped off the netting. Never really needing to make a save there was Kroll. Schluter able to slide it up the near wall, facing the forechecking pressure from Carter. Puck goes in deep. Chasing and after it is Terrian. Both teams getting line changes in here. Trickles out to center ice, and now a 2-on-1 brewing. There's a shot, and Cole had to he just barely got a piece of that, grazed off his leg. Now the counterattack the other way, led by Eddie Flood, junior from St. Clair Shore. Mentioned he's a part of our LTU family. Meanwhile, golden opportunity for Rochester. They score! Trevor Pode, he had a hat trick last night and backs it up with the equalizer in the second period, just a couple of minutes after the Blue Devils struck first. Trevor Pode, the St. Clair Shores, Michigan native, his 5th goal of the season and his team-leading 7th point of the season. Exploded last night with the first hat trick of the season for Rochester. Had 2 shorthanded goals yesterday. They're going to redo this draw at center ice. 16-19 to go in this second period. Both goals in the matchup have been scored in this middle frame. 1-1. Parker Hodges. It was 26 seconds into this period. And just a couple of minutes later, the ever-threatening Trevor Pode notches his team-leading 5th goal of the season for Rochester. We expected pretty even matchup tonight. Expected the Blue Devils to bounce back. They really pride themselves in their compete level. It was an odd 5-1 loss last night. Every goal was scored on the man advantage in some way or another. 15:37 to go in the second period now, and that was offside. This is a resilient Lawrence Tech group. We mentioned they rarely suffer those lopsided losses. There really wasn't much to hang their hats on last night. Kind of got out of hands at the ends with the aggressive and physical play that bled over to some extracurricular activity. A couple of players were tossed from that last night's game. But they have been composed for the most part tonight. One game, stripping the puck free here and cutting to the slot. That time was Parker Hodges in search of his 2nd of the period. Never really got a shot off. Back through center ice, here's Rochester. DeFranco to the forehand, he fires over top the net of Kroll and out of play. So Christian Cazaleas started the game for the Blue Devils, and Spencer Kroll taking the duties between the pipes in the second period. Face off to the left of Kroll here. He got the start last night. The clearance and a stretch pass here. John Horn scores! What a pass there. Horn took it at the Rochester line, and he scores for the 2nd time this season. Horn is a guy with some good size at 6'3", 160. Scored in the season opener last week and gets back on the board tonight. His first home goal of the season. This puck is picked off at center ice by Eddie Flood. He'll dip down the right wing side to the corner. Now stopping up behind the net here is Timo A. He got off to a lovely start to this game. Rochester looking for some long distributions of their own. Sean Pillay, Seattle native, rink-wide feed here for Timo A. His partner in crime. Drop pass for Sluter, fires, and that whipped wide right. Back up to the point it goes. Diving down the left wing side is Ebert. Put it to the corner for Sluter. He'll drop it back behind the net here for Ebert. Put it to the slot, tapped out by Martinez. 2-1 game. Nearly 6 minutes into this second period. All 3 goals have been scored in the first 6 minutes of this period. Alec Allen fires! He scores! What an eventful start to this second period of play. No goals in the first. Put 4 on the board total. 6 minutes exactly into this second period. Wow. Well, we had 6 total last night. First period, mentioned it was the Blue Devils getting off to a pretty nice start, but weren't able to put one in the back of the net. It has been a mesmerizing start, though, to this middle frame, as that puck is iced. This has been pretty fun. If you're a Blue Devil fan, you're loving the bounce back. 3-1 is the Lawrence Tech lead. Lost last night 5-1. Mihevlich wins the offensive zone draw. Quick shot blocked in front. There's another puck fed towards the net, bled across the crease. And Jack Labar is able to take it, put it up to the point, but not out. Thrown back in deep. Nurkinen lays ahead on to Mihevlich. Mihevlich flings it out, too hot to handle there for Luke Price, who's back in the lineup tonight. Windsor, Ontario native, didn't play last night. Nurkinen feeds it over to his deep partner, Max Domi. He was stripped to the puck by Pody, who fires, looking for his second of the game. That whipped wide right and up the near side, and back into the Rochester end it goes. 3-1 game, 12:58 to go in the second period. Back into the attacking zone comes Rochester. Puck spilled out on the rebound. Fed across the rink. Hodges played it over to Nurkinen. Now he'll dip into the Rochester end. Matthew Nurkinen, the active defenseman, looking for Hodges. He couldn't quite get his stick blade on it. Wrapped it around the Rochester net and over to the left wing corner. 12:29 to go in the middle frame. 4 goals in the first 6 minutes of this period after none in the opening period. Here is Max Jomi pouncing on the puck in the right wing corner. Put it up to the point. Alec Allen scored tonight. He'll lift the puck in behind the Rochester net. It was the second of the season for Alec Allen. Top pairing defenseman for the Blue Devils. He'll have to track back here against Pody. That's an excellent matchup, and Alec Allen was able to win it. Back the other way, here comes Brendan Priest, stopping by the right wing corner. Lays a drop pass on there for Terrian. Now circling the net, Terrian. Up high, Edward Flood over to the top of the left circle there for Timo A, and they score again. It was Terrian. That top line stays hot for Lawrence Tech. 11:39 to go in the second period, and the Blue Devils have caught fire. 4-1. A luminescent period for the Lawrence Tech top unit. Wow, what a flip of the script from last night. This was the intention, this was the hope, and they have more than capitalized here at their home rink in the second of this home and home. Rochester looking for a quick response. It has been up and down. A rhythmic period Plenty of open ice to work with in the neutral zone. Here they come once more. Clean exit. They'll off to pass in, and here's Sean Pillay. Couldn't quite get a handle on it. Out to take it. Super. No, that was fed across the crease. Over to the far wall. Held in there. Excellent effort at that left point from Jomi. Puck goes back out to center ice. Blue Devils looking to complete a change. Nearly halfway into this second period. 5 goals after none in the first. That's going to be a penalty coming up. And the Blue Devils will go to the man advantage. Mahevlich. Lawrence. And Mahevlich will hop in the box. This should be a hooking call. Third power play of the night coming up for Lawrence Tech. Sparkling start to this second period. Couldn't ask for a better start. It was Parker Hodges. All he needed was 26 seconds. Went flying on a long stretch pass, and that got the party started. Rochester answered back less than a couple of minutes later with Pody picking up right where he left off after his hat trick last night. But 3 more quick goals after that. And now dipping back in here once more is Eddie Flood. Knocked off the puck by his fellow number 18 on the opposite side, DeFranco. Now behind the net, looking to clear but unable to do so, Rochester. Fanning on a shot at the left point there was Rebecca. Held in though, left circle and firing was Nurkin. Follow-up shot, still loose in the doorstep, and now Rochester able to hop to center ice shorthanded. Halfway through the second period, Pody fires, and a right pad save made by Kroll, who gets the start in this second period. Intentions that time for Sean Pillay. We're 4-on-4 now. 54 seconds. They're going to get icing here. 9:28 to go in this second period. 4-on-4 for another 48 seconds. 4-1 the Lawrence Tech lead. Face-off coming up here to the left of Subert. Couple of 2-1 teams in the season. Blue Devils won the offensive zone draw. Alec Allen, a big blast from the point. Looking for his second goal of the night. Livonia, Michigan native. Scored his first of the season a few minutes ago. Mentioned he's another one of those guys that did play junior hockey. Here's Hodges beside the right circle, firing. Another goal scored tonight for Lawrence Tech. Expect more from him throughout the season. 9:10 to go in this second period. A 4-1 Blue Devil lead. But through center ice comes Rochester. Delayed penalty coming up on the Blue Devils. Allen took a puck to the stomach. Hand is still up. Extra attacker on for Rochester. It's going to be a holding call here. They get Tyrion, who scored the most recent goal for Lawrence Tech. Freshman from Plymouth, Massachusetts. In the lineup again today, made his debut last week. One of 8 freshmen for Lawrence Tech that Ken Gaffney is very high on. He told me before the season that he really felt last year's class was, maybe the most revered of all time so far in the modern era of this LTU hockey program. That has really blossomed. But he feels that this year's incoming class might be contesting that feat. Meanwhile, shot from the high slot there, and a pass over to Carter. Back out here is DeFranco. Pressured by Pillay. And the Blue Devils are able to clear their end. 8.5 to go in the second period. Carter leaves it back. Negotiating his way through traffic here is Mihelic. Smothered into the boards in the near wall, and puck is lofted back the other way. Last night was a 5-1 win for this Rochester group. 8:08 to go in the second period. 4-1, the Blue Devils lead it. Breaking out to center ice. Here comes Trevor Pody, the leading goal scorer on this Rochester team. Lost the puck and a potential shorthanded opportunity brewing. Parker Hodges with Nokonen behind him. Back to Hodges on a cross. Oh, he was looking for Alec Allen. That was a lovely progression through center ice, but they couldn't quite capitalize. Here's another shot there, shorthanded. Puck fed back out to center ice. Slapped only as far as the center ice red line. DeFranco flings a long distance distribution onto the net of Connor Cole. Spencer Kroll, rather, my apologies. And the freshman will lift the puck down the ice. Indian Lake, South Carolina native. 7:02 to go now in this second period. John Horn, who also scored in this second period on a wonderful goal, will lift it back into the Rochester zone. Rink-wide feet here in front of the penalty boxes. Horn lifts it back out to center ice. Able to take it here, though, is Martinez. He'll step back into the Blue Devil zone, working it beside the right circle. Stripped to the puck on a nice defensive play from Schluter. Schluter, the junior defenseman from Oxford, Michigan, molecular and cell biology major, who has played very well tonight. Puck is held this time by Kroll, who got the start last night. And with 6:20 to go now in this second period, this face-off will go back down into the Rochester zone. A minute and a half left on the man advantage here for this Rochester group. Haven't really been able to sustain pressure in the offensive zone with the man advantage tonight. Carter with room to break into the zone. Fed it across! Looking that time there from Mike DeFranco, who has 2 goals this season. Back up to the point. Fed into the top of the crease, and that's where it can be held by Kroll. Kroll, a relatively small goaltender, under 6 feet. In the NHL, you rarely see goaltenders under 6 feet nowadays. And he is very athletic, very smart. Couple of freshman goaltenders this year for Lawrence Tech to begin the season. Long shot from the point. Tipped off the stick in front of Carter. Now Pody. Top line forward. We'll play it back out to the high slot. There's the puck sent in front. Good traffic in front of the net there for Lawrence Tech. And it can be backhanded out of the zone by Jake Stawinski. Former Metro Jet. Played in his former home arena with the Metro Jets last night in Fraser, Michigan. 5:15 to go in this second period. It's been an eventful period of action. No goals in the first, 5 in the second. Looking to make it 6 there was Trevor Pody streaking down that right wing side. It's just a matter of chipping into this lead right now, taking it a goal at a time for Rochester. At one point, this was a 1-1 affair. Blue Devils have scored 3 unanswered since then. Face off to the left of Kroll. Offensive zone draw 1, but unable to hold the line there was Martinez. Schluter slides it out to center ice. DeFranco will back skate into his own end. Watched there by Blake Ebert, and we get an icing call. Under 5 to go now in this second period. Blue Devils had the advantage in the face-off category last night. Parker Hodges able to win that draw right on cue. There's a puck that's flung towards the net. DeFranco jumps on it. Promptly stripped to the puck, though, by Brendan Price, who has had himself a nice game tonight. Here is Price once more, looking for room. Fed across. Oh, a nice save made there by Siebert to get across the paint. This is fed across again. Price got it, and Siebert had to make another save. Back through center ice up the left wing. Now comes Mahevlich. He fires, and it's snatched deftly out of the air by Kroll. 4:13 remaining now in the second period. Kind of up and down since that electric start. Next face-off to the right of Kroll. It'll be Timo A. going up against Sean Adam. A will step out. And it'll be Sean Pillay taking his place. Scramble off the draw. Puck loose in the slot. Sticked aside there by Kroll. Cleared off the boards and out. Here is John Horn. He's already scored tonight. That puck goes up and out of play. 3:57 to go now in the second period. 4-1 the Blue Devil lead. 26 seconds into this period, it was Parker Hodges. We're going to face off coming up for the Blue Devils. It'll be an offensive zone draw. Won that advantage 30-27 last night. They'll win another draw. Jomey plays it down low. Walking up low to high, John Horn. He'll revert back behind the net, put it to the left circle. DeFranco looking to clear. Unable to do so. Holding the line there is Jomey. Put it in deep behind the net. Blue Devils have gotten pucks in deep tonight. Nurkinen out in front. Couldn't get a shot off. Blue Devils hold the line once more. With a 4-1 lead. Puck flung in front. Rebound spills out. DeFranco desperately trying to get a hold of it. Blue Devils still with it. Circling around the net. Nurkinen holds the line, or did he? The referees discuss here, and Rochester can get some fresh legs out on the ice after having to defend in their own zone for what felt like a while. This might be a too many men on the ice call. I believe it will be. So a power play coming up here for Rochester. And a much needed one. With 3:12 to go, this feels really big. It was indeed a too many men on the ice call. Off kind of a sloppy change. Pody sends it towards the net. DeFranco fed it out to the slot. Spills out. Slap shot hammered. Fearlessly blocked there by Parker Hodges. Deflects around the net and over to the near corner. DeFranco walks it along the goal line. Hugging that right post was Kroll. Still pressure coming, though. Blocked in front. Good traffic. It was Nurkinen getting down on one knee to block it. Without a stick, though, is Kroll. Blue Devils desperately trying to get it back to him. DeFranco kind of in front there. Didn't allow the stick to have a clean path to Kroll, but now he does take his stick, and the Blue Devils can get a change of penalty killers. Nurkinen clears the zone. 2:17 to go in the period. Minute left on the man advantage for this Rochester Drew. 4-1, the Blue Devil lead. Feels like a monumental power play to close out this period for Rochester if they are to chip away at this lead. Although considering the flow of this game, if it is 4-1 heading into the third, I wouldn't consider it to be over. No goals if you're just joining us in the first period, and 5 total in the second. And they all came 6 minutes into this second period. It was 20 seconds in. Parker Hodges got the party going with a goal off a long stretch pass. Now with 42 seconds to go in this second period, face off to the left of Kroll. Draw one by Rochester. Puck put in deep. Bleeds across the crease, and Schluter will look to clear. Couldn't do so. .25 seconds to go now in the power play. It was too many men on the ice. Charge to Lawrence Tech. Wrist shot blocked. Another one comes in. Kyle Carter with the opportunity. Now a 2-on-1 brewing. Here is Timo A. Fires. And this spills in. Still awaiting a confirmation. Believe it should be 5-1. And it is. Minute 16 to go in the second. And a shorthanded goal. Officials still chatting with the Rochester bench. Head coach Scott Cagnett in his second season. Still talking it over. Scoreboard still says 4-1. There was 3 seconds remaining on the Rochester power play. It is a good goal. After that review and discussion that is still going on at the Rochester bench, Sean Adam having a conversation with the officials. So Rochester gets a taste of their own medicine from last night. They opened the game up with 2 shorthanded goals in the first period. Ended up having 3 total. And now we have the score from last night, but the script is flipped. 5-1 was the final last night in favor of Rochester. Tonight, Lawrence Tech up 5-1 with still a minute to go in this second period. What a turnaround it's been. As Sean Adams' lively discussion continues with the officials. He is incensed over in front of the Rochester bench. While we have a break and discuss the upcoming schedule, it'll be a favorable one for Lawrence Tech. Concordia next week, and a team that they've already beaten a couple of times. 6 goals and 5 goals in those 2 matchups for Lawrence Tech. Concordia really struggling defensively in the early stages of this season. They'll have the Cardinals next weekend, and then Indiana Tech after that. Not quite sure why the officials are allowing this discussion to carry on for so long with Adam. He gets off the ice and certainly isn't happy. And the Rochester coaching staff won't be happy heading into the break. Minute 16 to go in this second period. Blue Devils back to even strength. Timo I scored the goal. Long pass the other way. The physical play from last night beginning to bleed over into tonight's matchup. A big hit along the near side. And the door is open to enter the sin bin for Eric Engel. The referee is going to say that wasn't a legal hit. So just like that, back to the power play Rochester goes. About a minute of power play time that will bleed over into the third period. Once again, obviously this feels monumental. Almost feels like you have to score here. Was a roughing call. Another shorthanded entry. Eddie Flood, drop pass here. Intentions for Brendan Price. And Siebert, the Slovakian goaltender, will cover up. It's been an interesting last couple of minutes. It was an eventful start to this period and an eventful ending to this period. The Blue Devils can kill off some valuable time here on the Rochester power play that once again will bleed into the third period. Oh, Flood fanned on a clearance on the back check. Nokinen with a backhand shot there. Coming in from Lance Ferenc. Blue Devils unable to clear. Pody, he scored the lone goal tonight. His stick snapped in half there on the shot attempt. Couldn't get a clean release off. Bleeds into the blue paint, and Kroll will smother it. Wow, well, Flood couldn't quite get the clean exit on the clearance, and then Pody's stick broke. He couldn't get a clean shot off, and with 16.6 to go in the second period, maybe one last gasp for this Rochester group. Sean Adam in the dot as per usual for this Rochester power play. Able to win the draw, but it bleeds out to center ice. Parker Hodges, that speed of his. Able to beat him out though with Siebert. Banked off the right side boards for Adam. Dumped in. Kroll out to cut it off. Just 2 seconds, just 1 second. And time will elapse on the second period of play. From Farmington Hills Ice Arena, you're watching Blue Devil men's hockey on LTSN, your home for LTU athletics. Blue Devils at 2-1, looking to get back on a roll after last night's loss, and up 5-1. They have totally flipped the script from last night when they lost 5-1, now up 5-1, headed into the third. Barring a collapse, they'll hope to hold on.
What we've been working on with the girls is trying to grow the team to be more involved with athletics and being a competitive team. We did our first competitions last year, and it went really great. It was an amazing learning experience. It taught us a lot about what we needed to work on as a team. One of the things that we really got to do is we challenged ourselves to be dancing at a higher level. We've been working with the girls on choreography and really pushing our limits as a team.
When we went to camp this year, which we didn't do last year, and I think that was a really good bonding experience because it was a kind of a tough camp, and so we all kind of struggled together and kind of brought us together.
For practice, we normally get up, and our practices are from 6 to 8 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then tomorrow we have pep rally, so we have a little bit of a practice before that. Saturdays is when the game is, and so we'll practice early in the morning on the field. We go to the tailgate, and then we perform.
It's very exciting because it's the first time our freshmen are going to perform for the school, and so they're going to dance for the crowd and have fun.
For us, we're planning on being almost there for every game. We're planning to keep it peppy, making sure the crowd is with us, and just excited overall.
What we're really trying to get people to see us as is the energy at the games. We want to be part of that group along with the band that's really building people up and getting them excited to be just in that whole atmosphere.
My name is Erin Atala. My major is biomedical engineering. I'm a freshman and I'm in the LTU marching band. I'd really like to go to Italy one day because I've been to Europe before and it's beautiful. M&Ms because I really like chocolate. Pineapple does not belong on pizza because I don't like pineapple, and I don't think the flavors fit well together at all. My favorite thing about Lawrence Tech is the class size. I really like that they're small and personal and get to know your classmates and your teacher and ask them questions.
We are holding our prospect camp, and we open it up from 7th grade all the way up to seniors, going into their senior year. And we're holding it here at Troy Athens High School, and we got a gorgeous day for it. What it is people who have the dream of playing college softball. And for us, we have some people who are extremely interested in LTU that have come to the camp, or that they're looking to go on to college and play college softball. We go over, it's more of advanced drills than just basic drills that we try to do here today.
I really like the prospect camp because there's always a lot of energy with these younger girls, so we get to help them out and grow their skills more, and we get to have fun while we're doing it and teach them like a lot of cool things that Coach Baird showed us.
My favorite thing is they always have a lot of energy. They always have, they're always high-fiving each other, and they talk a lot, and that's probably my favorite part.
We try and bring what we teach the younger kids to our fields. Like if there's something that our teammates aren't understanding, like we try and teach them like we would to teach the younger kids.
So we've got 2 freshmen here today, Aaron and Rylan. And I just met Aaron today, and we're already clicking, and it really helps us to kind of learn each other's teaching styles. So it really helps us know how I learn, how Sarah learns. Like I learn different than Sarah, and it helps us to help each other.
I want the players here more than probably me. When they see the players doing the drills and being a part of it, it's for our players not only to give back to the game of softball, but also for our players to understand like the coaching aspect and how you do the drills and break down the drills. And our players do an awesome job with it.
So, Grace, I'd like to start out by saying welcome to the Lawrence Tech family. What emotions are you feeling right now as this starts to settle in and really become a reality?
I'm excited. I'm honored and humbled that Scott and the committee believed in me and my vision, and I'm excited and ready to get started.
Grace, when this job opening first came available, I guess what was the initial thought of why it might be a good fit for you?
I've been a part of the WAC as a player and a coach for 7 years. I'm really familiar with it and the competition and Lawrence Tech's players, the roster that they have returning. And so it was an attractive job to me, and I wanted to be back home in my roots.
How would you describe your coaching and recruiting philosophies?
I really think Coach Kai did a great job of establishing, going after driven character young women that are driven on the basketball court and in the classroom. And that's really what I want to continue to look for when we're fitting the LTU mold.
What stood out to you most about Grace during this process?
I think just her attitude and her enthusiasm. She seems like a real go-getter. She's going to have her work cut out. Recruiting in our conference is pretty tough, but I think she comes with a great background of recruiting a high student athlete, great GPA, so that's what kind of set her apart from the other candidates.
Inference how tough it's gotten for Lawrence Tech women's basketball, now back-to-back 21 seasons. We had a first-team All-American last year in Nicole Buckingham, the WAC Newcomer of the Year in Kendall Fisher. What are your expectations of this group moving forward?
I expect her to pick up the ball and take off right where they left off. We have a lot of great talent coming back. We did lose a couple of key players, but I expect other people to step up, just like any team, right? Everyone's got to step up and do their role. Coach is going to come right in and get her hands dirty. It's going to be year one, so it's always going to be a different transition, with a new team and a new coach. So we'll see how it goes.
Dahlia. I'm playing for LTU women's soccer, and I'm majoring biomedical engineering. My favorite movie is the Titanic because every time when I'd go over to my grandma's house, we'd watch it together and eat ice cream every time we went. No matter if it was like 3 times a week, we'd watch the Titanic. My favorite hype-up song is Upgrade You by Beyonce because it's really upbeat and I love Beyonce. My favorite thing to do in my spare time is either watch Netflix, hang out with friends, or read if I'm interested in a book, which usually I'm not, but sometimes I am. There's small occasions where it happens.
I grew up in Detroit and then moved to Farmington Hills. So I went to Central for a few years and then went to Wayne State, and I have a civil engineering degree, environmental engineering degree, and a couple masters as well, civil and environmental, with interest in chemistry as well. 30 years of coaching a women's team. Again, another interesting thing. It takes a different approach and a lot of psychology. My wife, Michaeline, is a psychologist, so that helps out a ton. I bring a lot of that in as well. So we started out this summer coming off our best spring that we've had, so we made some improvements. We did really well spring ball, competed really well with some Division II teams, which is a step up for us. And then we had a specific finite role of people that we needed to fill for 2019, and I think we got a good incoming crew to do that. We've hosted more recruit days on campus than we ever have for 19 and 20. We've had over 12 2020s on campus already, so that's one of those things, and they're juniors now, so that's really good. We have a core group of great leadership kids and great seniors this year. I mean, it just absolutely is easy to coach them. So a lot of those successes and that stuff, we set the process, we steer a little bit as a coaching staff, and their foot's on the gas. Always challenging for the girls, and it's not anything the same old, it's always new and always, again, making them comfortable being uncomfortable. That's kind of the cool part. One that I put up on the board already is play in December. That means you made it to nationals, and I think that's a realistic goal. You either got to win the conference outright or you got to win the tournament at the end. So you got 2 shots at that. And I think that's one of those things that if I can get the leadership, the junior seniors hungry about, I think it's a doable, achievable goal.
Time now to take a look inside Lawrence Technological University. Fresh off of a busy summer, one of LTU's finest came into the studio to discuss what he was up to over the break.
Over the past couple of years, I've been able to work with a website called DetroitSportsMedia.com, and I work with them as an on-camera reporter. So this summer, I did some work with the Tigers, and I had the opportunity to do an interview with Daniel Norris, one of their pitchers, and he's just such an incredible, wide-ranging personality. So it was some good exposure and an excellent experience when it comes to interviewing.
While thriving with the Detroit Sports Media Group, Jason has also had his hands full going above and beyond as the voice of LTU athletics.
So Lawrence Tech has been certainly a vital part of my career so far. At a young age, they've allowed me to get repetitions doing up to 8 different sports. We do mostly TV broadcasts here, and they allow me to work with my play-by-play, which again is what I want to do more than anything in my life. I just love the rush of it, love the thrill of it. It's almost indescribable. I love to study it. It's like an art form. Again, we do TV play-by-play here, so I kind of consider that to be like the score to a movie. You think of a movie, and it's really, you see the pictures, but it's the sound that makes it come alive. Lawrence Tech gives me an incredible platform to be able to work on my passion.
Here's a taste of what you might be listening to in the near future on call for Detroit professional sports.
My heart is beating. The heart of Don Riddler Fieldhouse is beating. Another chance to close this one out. Christy Doherty, Isabella McDonald off the 10-foot line. Back set here to Labar. Doherty, the junior setter, to the junior Gramakova. Sprawling to no avail, and the Blue Devils have done it. They have captured the elusive feat of beating the Madonna Crusaders. They've done it in 4 sets. What a night on senior night.
For more information, go to LTUathletics.com and tune into all of their live-streamed home games to hear Jason Ross Jr. on the call. Student athletes from LTU have been known to go above and beyond off the field, and this week we caught up with one of the men's soccer team captains to talk about a pretty cool opportunity he had this summer.
So back in December, our graduate assistant coach, Paulo Ripotas, he informed me of this opportunity with the American Red Cross that he participated in back in the summer 2016. And this past June, 12 other students and myself, all from the NAIA, all student athletes, we went to the American Red Cross headquarters in downtown Washington, D.C., and we were able to go through seminars, different meetings, go through training where we learned so much about leadership, volunteering opportunities, community impact, and most of all, the Red Cross and the impact that they have in the community and what type of services they provide. The first few days when these people started talking to us, they started showing us the impact of the Red Cross and what it does for the community. I realized this is so much more than just visiting a cool city and visiting cool people. Like, this is an opportunity to change my life and to change other people's lives.
With all of the knowledge gained from his experience and learning the benefits of donating blood, Juan is now bringing the cause to Lawrence Tech and calling upon his fellow classmates to help make a difference.
Donating blood can save up to 3 lives each person, so it's a very good cause, and so we hope to hopefully continue that impact here on campus. As of right now, October 22nd and October 23rd, my team and myself, we will be running a blood drive here on campus at the Architecture Gallery. And I know at the end of the day, I'm helping someone. I have no idea who this person is, but I know at the end of the day, my blood is going to go to the program, it's going to be processed, and at the end of the day, it's going to really help someone out. And that's just a beautiful feeling that it's anonymous.
The biggest thing that we've done is we've really built the family aspect, and we've really pushed the idea of getting the students to kind of take leadership and ownership of getting amped up for games, and it's just one of those that fall, football, marching band, they all go together.
You know, we get to lay the groundwork for what we want this to be, and it's really awesome. We've gotten a lot of freedom to, make this what we want of it, because...
Welcome back to LTSN, a minute of power play time to get this third underway for Rochester. They have a high hurdle to climb in this third period of play, as Stawinski will wheel back into his own end. Bryce Patterson galloping up the left wing side, and Blue Devils have done well to kill off this penalty so far. The fresh legs out on the fresh ice. Kroll out to cut it off. 26 seconds into the second period, we had a goal from Parker Hodges to get things underway. It's going to take a bit longer than that in the third, evidently, but it'll need to be an electric opening half of this third period for this Rochester team if they are to come back. Nice navigation through the neutral zone there. Blue Devils back to even strength now. Trevor Podia scored the lone goal for this Rochester team. Backing up a hat trick last night. If you're just joining us, it was a 5-1 win for this Rochester team last night over Lawrence Tech. And the Blue Devils, over the past few years with Ken Gaffney, have really prided themselves on compete level and resiliency. As a chance brews out in the top of the crease there, it's Stubert once again back between the pipes. The Slovakian goaltender for Rochester College. Lance Farrick, who nearly scored in the latter stages of that second period, will sling it out to center ice. Goes off the right skate of Kyle Carter and back into the Rochester zone. Slezans, the Latvian defenseman and top pairing defenseman for this Rochester team, plays up the right side boards and around the dasher it goes and up to the left point. Long shot snatched out of the air, that time by Kroll. Jason Ross Jr. back with you, producer Kia Tyus. Sarah Davis, ringside, getting the highlights tonight here on LTSN. And catch all of your Blue Devil hockey coverage right here. Features, interviews, stories. If you're on the go, follow us at LTU Athletics on social media for all of your Blue Devil needs. Pouncing on the puck in the attacking zone here is Brendan Priest. 2 goals already on the season, 3 points. Gets entangled behind the net here, and the extracurricular activity continues with Slezans. And Price has Slezans in the headlock. Referees come in to attempt to break this up. Just kind of lingered and lingered and lingered. This is what we saw towards the latter stages of last night's matchup. But the score is the exact opposite in last night's matchup. It was 5-1 in favor of Rochester. Slezans hops up. So does Price. Livonia, Michigan native, and see if they get Price here heading to the box. I think they will. Well, Slezans, I was wondering there, he went originally to the Rochester bench, and the official said, no, you're going to the penalty box as well. 17:35 to go in the third. Carter will have to hop off the ice here for Rochester, deciding who will stay on. It will be 4-on-4. Parker Hodges, who scored the first goal of the night, the first of what was 5 goals in a matter of 6 minutes to begin the second period, will take the puck in his own end here. You hear the announcements. Both calls were elbowing. Alec Allen firing. Rebound spills out. Allen scored in that second period. Beats the slot. A shot there. The whips over top the net from Jomey. Up to the point it goes. Alec Allen. Top of the right circle they fire. And now it can be taken the other way. Gliding up the right wing side here is Martinez. Able to hit Mihevlich over the line, and a save made into the paraphernalia of Kroll, as the great Danny Gallivan used to say. 16:45 to go in this third. It's been an eventful first 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Face-off coming up to the left of Kroll. 5-1 Lawrence Tech lead. Dipping behind the net, here's Edward Flood. Couldn't clear. Opportunity brews in front. And now can be taken back by John Horn, 6'3" sophomore, weaving his way in over the Rochester line. It was stripped to the puck by DeFranco. Nice play there from DeFranco. He's able to find Luke Price, Windsor, Ontario native, back in the lineup tonight. Fans campaigning for a penalty. They won't get one. Wanted a slash. Meanwhile, room to step in and work it in over the Rochester line for Price. Put it to the left corner. Schluter there. He's had a magnificent game tonight. Fed the slot. Jake Stawinski was flying in. Stawinski drops it back here for Schluter. He'll wheel back and track back up to the point. Schluter will now walk down the left half wall. To the circle he fires. And that whips wide right. Back up to the point. Jack Labar, freshman from Centennial, Colorado, lost it out to center ice, and back to the LTU line it goes for Schluter, the experienced defenseman and mature business-like personality, to take it and reassemble. There's a shot and a butterfly save made. Another opportunity that time for Timo A. The freshman has had a really nice game tonight. Puck slings around and up the near wall. Timo A. Smeagol's past Carter. Walks it along the goal line. Was looking that time for Sean Pillay, but springing another way comes Rochester. Trevor Pody looking for his second of the game. Couldn't find it. 5 minutes into what's been a rhythmic, fun third period of play. Plenty of room through the open ice. Another opportunity for Pody now to work it in over the Blue Devil line. Steps to the high slot, to the backhand, vetted across the crease, and it goes over to the near wall. 14:43 to go in this third period. Galloping up the left wing side, rather gingerly through center ice. Here's a shot taken, another blocker save made there on Timo A. Puck towards the net. Blue Devils did a really nice job of getting pucks towards the net in the opening period and getting pucks in deep. Did really well in the forecheck in that opening period. Got off to a nice start. We didn't have any goals in the first period. There's another opportunity there for, this time it was Brendan Price. Both teams back to even strength after there was plenty of open ice in that 4-on-4 situation. We have another penalty coming up here on Lawrence Tech. Discipline was one of our key points of emphasis coming into tonight's broadcast. Tripping call here. There were 8 penalties last night charged to Lawrence Tech. They've been penalized quite a bit again tonight. Have done well to kill off the penalties, but Ken Gaffney and his group have to find a way to minimize these man advantage opportunities for their opponents as they get into the depths of the season. Been a bit undisciplined through 3 games. 2-1 on the season are both of these teams. Quick shot off the draw there from Pody. That top power play unit is back out. Right back out on the ice here for Rochester. Pass into the zone, flying in, and a shot taken by Mihevlich. Mentioned he had a 3-point game last Friday. 2 goals and an assist versus Robert Morris. It was the opening weekend of the season for this Rochester team. Alec Allen. He's had a really nice outing today. Banks it off the end boards to his D partner, Max Jomey. Puck slips in for Parker Hodges. Drops it back there fortuitously onto the stick of John Horn. Couple of goal scores tonight. That's a hot tandem right now. And they are looking to hook up again there. Puck went up and out of play. Six and a half minutes into this third period. Haven't quite seen the fireworks that we saw in the first 6 minutes and change of the second. We had a 4-on-4 situation. Here comes Pody. And a glove save made by Kroll. Kroll's been doing well so far in his a little over a period and change after Kazoleus got the start. Both freshman goaltenders on the Blue Devil roster to begin the season on the D1 roster. D1 ACHA matchup for you tonight here on LTSN. Last night, Rochester got off to a quick 3-0 start off 2 shorthanded goals from Trevor Pody. They win the draw again. Part of the good game tonight for Kroll has been his rebound control. He's done well to get across the crease. He's really had an eye on those rebounds. Not too many second chance opportunities for Rochester. Here's a chance off the draw. Pody ready again, and he's starting to get hot. You can tell really he is seeing those pucks. Blue Devils really keyed in on Kroll in the early stages of this one. Another offensive zone draw, another shot from Kroll. This time it goes wide. Blue Devils desperately looking to clear here. Couldn't. Looking to get these penalty killers off the ice, and now they can. Martinez looking through that caged mask of his. Long pass for Pody. Fires. It goes wide. Back the other way. Blue Devils trying to roam through center ice. Half a minute to go on the power play. Short-handed, nifty move to the slot. Terrian, who scored earlier in this game, went crashing to the ice, emerges out of the goal, and back the other way for Rochester comes Kyle Carter. Lost the puck. Blue Devils can clear their end. Just 10 seconds to go on the power play. Nearing the halfway point of the third. A 4-goal deficit right now for this Rochester team. 4 unanswered goals for Lawrence Tech after at one point this was a 1-1 game. Philip Subert has had to deal with more rebounds than Kroll has in this one. And there have been some chunky, lively rebounds in this end of the ice. Sean Adam will try to pick the puck off the wall. Put it up the near side and past Adam Rebecca, the freshman defenseman from Canton. Rebecca paired back there with Eddie Flood. And they'll swap places. Flood looking up as he heads up ice in what is still relatively fresh ice. Flood gets a return fee, kicked off his stick blade. Held in here. Firing is Connor Victory. Now Mihevlich. Warren, Michigan native. 3 goals, 2 assists on the season. We get a whistle. Well, Looks like it's going to be a power play coming up here for Lawrence Tech. Well, not what Rochester needs right now. You need all the time you can get on this clock. You don't see what they, I was going to say they had 3 shorthanded goals last night. You don't see that a lot. Can't rely on that back-to-back nights. Right now, though, I think that has to be the mentality. You get the puck and it's not just dump it in and hang back. You need to dump it in, pursue it, or just keep it as you hop over the blue line if you can. Offensively shorthanded here if you're Rochester. Here is Sean Pillay. Back to the point for Alec Allen. He'll walk to the high slot. Fed it over here for John Horn. Goal scorer to goal scorer. He fires. That's blocked in front rather fearlessly by Sean Adam. Some nice O-zone time here on the power play. One-timer. That blisters wide and out to center ice. Crow will come way out to leave it for Alec Allen. Some fresh legs come out on the power play, finishing a change. Room and time to stop up here for Horn. Leaves it for Allen. His wrist shot and a blocker save made. Connor Victory back up to the high slot. John Horn, Chesapeake, Virginia native. Scored his 2nd goal of the season tonight. Alec Allen has his stick up high. Gets a pass here. Over. Fanning on a shot there. And Rochester can clear their end. Nice power play so far. Some sustained offensive zone time. Half a minute to go on it. Just don't give Rochester any shorthanded opportunities. And you'll escape this with still a 5-1 lead, even if you don't score. Schluter, rebound, spills out. Ten seconds left on the man advantage. Puck can be lifted into the Rochester end, promptly cleared once more. And Rochester is back to even strength. Nurkinen took down the forechecker for Rochester, and a bit slow to get up at the other end there was Martinez. At center ice, Ebert, Oregon native. Parker Hodges trying to wrap his way around traffic. Got it ridden off the puck, and DeFranco will pursue it, but Nurkinen will beat him out here. Nurkinen can start back up. Blue Devils breaking out to center ice. Snowshoeing through center ice, and down the left wing goes Timo A. Another shift for Timo A. He's had from some eventful shifts in this game. Pody, nice little pass up ahead here for Schluter. Serpentining through center ice. He'll lift it down to the LTU end. Adam Rebecca, he's been trusted back there on the back end for Lawrence Tech as a freshman. This will be icing. Time is dwindling on the comeback effort for Rochester. Well, if you were to write a post-game article on this matchup, if the score does stay 5-1, a reversal in fortunes might be the headline. 5-1 victory for Rochester last night in their home ice. And tonight, it has been completely turned around. Pretty nice crowd tonight here at the Farmington Hills Ice Arena. The new home of LTU Hockey. Formerly played at the Southfield Ice Arena. They have transitioned over to what is a very nice rink here. So Sean Pillay in the box here. 2 minutes for tripping. So they have to kill off yet another penalty. Up 5-1, but discipline will certainly be one of the talking points in the dressing room afterwards. Just a slew of penalties over the last couple of games for this Lawrence Tech group. Kroll has played very well, though. Now Carter gets involved with the Blue Devil. Punch was thrown. And we might have some penalties coming away from this exchange. This is what it looked like last night, and we didn't expect anything else tonight. Officials would have liked to see a cleaner game. Carter still staring someone down. .7:23 to go, and we will have some more skaters headed towards the penalty box. Alec Allen got into it last night. I think he was in the mix there. Some words bleeding over. He's in the box. Now the referees, I was going to say Carter left. Now he, I think, needs to go back, and he does. There was a minute and a half left on that power play for Rochester. Now it's a matter of sorting out the paperwork. 5-1 lead for the Blue Devils. We'll take a quick breather while they do sort out what needs to be written down in the box score.
Time now for a look inside Lawrence Technological University. And did you know LTU partners up with several Michigan high schools to advance education and give kids a leg up when it comes to preparing better for college? Lawrence Tech and West Bloomfield High School recently celebrated the opening of the high school's Tech Hub space. This is just one of the collaborations between LTU and West Bloomfield High School. Dual enrollment classes, internships, summer training sessions, as well as special programs for West Bloomfield students interested in engineering. The Tech Hub will provide distance learning opportunities for classes taught by Lawrence Tech professors and West Bloomfield teachers, both via video conferencing and in person.
If we orient and mentor and help students in the right direction, they are likely to succeed and be leaders in the community, and the community wins, the school system wins, the state wins, and America wins.
Attention teachers and administrators, your school should partner up with Lawrence Technological University. This is the definition of win-win. Inquire within by going to the university's website, LTU.edu, right now. Esports at LTU is growing rapidly, and students in the esports program recently held a gaming event on campus. Of course, there were tons of video games, board games, and so much more.
Right now, this event is helping so that...
Welcome back to LTSN. 7:23 to go in this third period. All the Blue Devils have to do is milk the clock. 5-1 the score. Looks like we had a couple of offsetting penalties that stemming from that extracurricular activity that will lead to Rochester simply remaining on the power play here for another minute 20. 7:10 to go again. A 5-1 Blue Devil lead. DeFranco. He'll lead Trevor Pody over the line. Rochester certainly can't lose him right now. Their man who had a hat trick last night, and he's scored the lone goal tonight for Rochester. Have to keep your emotions in check in these moments, and Rochester simply did not do that. Blue Devils up 5-1. Obviously, discipline will be a factor that they'll need to talk about in the dressing room and in practice after this one. Here comes the announcement on the penalties. Gosh, should we get 10-minute misconduct on Jack LeBar? You get Alec Allen roughing. You get another roughing called on, I believe it was Carter. So 37 seconds to go on this current Rochester power play. Just trying to come up with something magical now. I think all hockey fans at this moment, if you're a Rochester fan, maybe your one semblance of hope would be the Vegas Golden Knights comeback in the playoffs last year against the San Jose Sharks, but that was on a 5-minute major after Joe Pavelski went down. A controversial afterwards 5-minute major. Although obviously you can't give up that many goals. They'll need a San Jose Sharks-esque comeback now if they are to tie this game and send it into overtime. Icing call here brings it back to the Rochester end. Some of the visiting Rochester fans haven't liked the calls, but I think overall it's been a fairly well-called game. This puck goes up into the ceiling. And I mean those roughing calls afterwards, those extracurricular activity kind of calls, it starts to get subjective there. Referees came into tonight knowing they needed to get a tight handle on this matchup after the emotions of last night's game. At this point, LTU hoping that it's all cosmetic. 5:15 to go in the third. No goals in the first. We had a total of 5 in the first 6 minutes to open up the second period. As Subert covers up. It was a 1-0 lead. Parker Hodges flew out of the gates with fresh legs in that second period to make it 1-0. Rochester answered. Since then, 4 unanswered goals for this Lawrence Tech group. Connor Victory. They're able to win the offensive zone draw. The aforementioned Victory once more. Puck flung towards the net. Max Jomey holds the line. Puts the puck in deep. Here is Luke Price for Rochester. Now Slezans, the Latvian defenseman, who got entangled earlier in this one with Price. Those two shared some words. Hammered from the left point there from Schluter. Fearlessly blocked that time by Martinez. He lifts up the right wing side, and now Martinez is feeling it. Punching over, that went right off his right elbow. That's such an admirable part of this game, blocking shots. The game of hockey is lovely inherently. The physicality, the toughness, the mental quickness, the game planning, and the speed. How do you not love it? It's a pleasure to bring it to you on a Friday night here inside of the Farmington Hills Ice Arena. Jason Ross Jr., producer Kia Tyus. 4:29 to go in tonight's broadcast, barring anything magical. Rochester just needs to quickly exit their zone here. Blue Devil forecheck was a key part of their good start. Just hounding pucks just like this and making it tough for Rochester to exit their own end. Now DeFranco can step out rather comfortably and calmly over the center ice circle. Puck is promptly slapped back up the right side boards and down. Lance Farrick, West Bloomfield, Michigan native. Got it to Pody. Never got a clean shot off. And with 3:48 to go in this third period, we can hold on for a second. Once again, a couple of 2-1 teams going at it tonight. Scott Cagnett on the Rochester side and Ken Gaffney, one of the longest tenured coaches in LTU athletics, on the Blue Devils side of things. Looking to pick up his third win. And this one's certainly one to look back on and say, hey, we have the mental toughness, we have the resiliency, we have the compete level to bounce back. Look at the rebound control again there from Kroll as more extracurricular activity ensues. We're just trying to get out of this one with no more bodies in the penalty box, no more 10-minute misconducts. It's an inherently physical game, and it can lead to this kind of stuff. You just hope it doesn't bleed over into the quality of the game. The gate is opened once more. Mihevlich thinks he shouldn't be in the penalty box, but perhaps he should realistically, and he will be. Nurkinen out as well on the Lawrence Tech side. Once again, while we sort out the paperwork, we'll take a quick breather here on LTSN.
Time now for a look inside Lawrence Technological University. And did you know LTU partners up with several Michigan high schools to advance education and give kids a leg up when it comes to preparing better for college? Lawrence Tech and West Bloomfield High School recently celebrated the opening of the high school's Tech Hub space. This is just one of the collaborations between LTU and West Bloomfield High School. Dual enrollment classes, internships, summer training sessions, as well as special programs for West Bloomfield students interested in engineering. The Tech Hub will provide distance learning opportunities for classes taught by Lawrence Tech professors and West Bloomfield teachers, both via video conferencing and in person.
If we orient and mentor and help students in the right direction, they are likely to succeed and be leaders in the community. And the community wins, the school system wins, the state wins, and America wins.
Attention teachers and administrators, your school should partner up with Lawrence Technological University. This is the definition of win-win. Inquire within by going to the university's website, LTU.edu, right now. Esports at LTU is growing rapidly, and students in the esports program recently held a gaming event on campus. Of course, there were tons of video games, board games, and so much more.
Right now, this event is helping so that people are aware of what kind of fun and kind of exciting things that we do here at LTU. With these games, we're trying to make sure that people are engaged in LTU, and hopefully they want to come here if they don't come here already.
LTU is hosting another esports tournament in May, where students in high school will compete for a chance to win thousands of dollars in scholarship to LTU and other great prizes. High school teams across Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio compete in an 8-week-long season. Then, the top 6.
Welcome back to LTSN. 3:35 to go in this one, and just trying to make it out without any more infractions and interruptions. Sean Adam, he's done well in the face-off circle tonight. Able to win the draw on his own end that time against Cole Terrian. It's a slashing penalty and a game misconduct that we get. There were several of them. Couldn't quite get a hold of all of them in my headset. But the Blue Devils, despite all of that extra stuff, the main storyline tonight is flipping the script on the scoreboard. They lost 5-1 last night, believe it or not, and we have totally reversed the fortune around tonight. It was a nice start, And now hoping to cap it off with a nice finish. Big blast, rebound. Oh, on the doorstep with a wide open net there was Eric Engdahl. Stepping back in over the Rochester line here. Firing was Alex Schluter. And a chest save made there by Stubert. Puck is poked back out to center ice. Re-attacking the zone. Here comes Alec Allen. Pody plays the puck to himself rather nicely. What a better back check there from Connor Victory. 2:08 to go now. Pody fires a big blast. That rims up and out of play. So, 1:59 to go. 5-1 the Blue Devil lead. Just looking to finish this one out down the home stretch here. At times it's been an entertaining matchup, as that puck is definitely snatched out of the air. At times it's been very physical. Penalties once again playing a key role in tonight's storyline. Reminiscent of last night. Blue Devils were penalized 8 times last night. Number is up high again tonight. So despite winning 5-1, they certainly need to clean that up in the young stages of this 2019-20 campaign. They'll get off to a 3-1 start. This Rochester team started last year 0-5. So it's been a breath of fresh air to begin this season 2-1. They'll drop to 2-2. And I mean, even though you're at 2-2, it's just the idea of not starting 0-5. To make an NHL comparison here, you look at the Red Wings season ago, beginning of the year 0-5-2. For all of our Red Wings fans out there, it was their worst start since 1985. Now they're off to a 3-1 start this year. And it's so tight, obviously, in the NHL. It's so tough to get behind the 8 ball. And it's the same in this league. So tough when you get behind. And the Blue Devils off to a nice 3-1 start. Rochester, in comparison to last year, really doing well to flip the script around. Ultimately finished 11-24 last season, did Rochester. Scott Cagnett in his second season. He actually inherited a program that, prior to him coming in, was ranked number 21 in the country. They've fallen off a bit over the past couple of seasons. This Blue Devil program made it to the national tournament last year. Looking to make another deep run again this season. Bryce Ebert. One of the promising freshmen, Ken Gaffney, was so high on this incoming class, feels it could be the best ever. Here is Ebert, the Sherwood, Oregon native, one of a couple Pacific Northwest natives. And the Blue Devils with a man advantage here for the final 20 seconds or so. Getting some final ozone time, and maybe it's just all cosmetic now. I don't think they would mind adding on another goal considering the vitriol and I think it's fair to say hatred between these two groups. I don't think they'll be calling each other afterwards to say congratulations. I think that's fair to say. Puck played back out to center ice, and Lawrence Tech will improve to 3-1 on the season, bouncing back from last night's 5-1 loss and totally flipping the script on the scoreboard. 5-1, the final. You couldn't have asked for a better turnaround. Parker Hodges got the party started in the opening stages of the second period. Rochester answered back. Then it was 4 unanswered goals for Lawrence Tech. Once again, 5-1 your final from Farmington Hills Ice Arena, the new home for LTU Hockey, and they're off to an auspicious start in the new building. They'll pick it back up next weekend. Saying so long for producer Kiatias, Sarah Davis ringside tonight. I'm Jason Ross Jr. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.